Alright guys, Fuller coming to you with another video. I hope all is well with y'all. So, we just got, I just got done watching the Devin Haney, George Kambozo's presser. All I gotta say is that there were some things that stood out to me, and also there were some things that made me question, like George Kambozo's sanity. So the first thing is that like Devin Haney said, like, dude didn't even bring the belts, and he said, well, this is what you get for missing the first presser. You know what I mean? And he has to understand that he missed the first presser due to the fact that his dad was like struggling to get there, and once it was found out and known that his dad couldn't get there, that's when he went, Now, the thing is like with, I don't, George Kambozo, man, I don't even know at this point what to say about that dude, man. Seriously, I really don't know what to even go off of anymore. Okay, here's the thing. He talked about what he was talking about is he was talking about the whole Teofimo situation, because I guess there was some, Devin Haney, he was playing devil's advocate, and he was actually kind of giving Kambozo's free game, in essence, hey, this dude's in a very vulnerable position right now. I mean, it's possible for you to do something, right? And I'm pretty sure there was some exchanges, but how is that? How does that make him a rat when it was public knowledge that that Teofimo was basically getting played by his wife? It was knowledge, that was out in the public. You feel me? I mean, now granted, the publications were very small in regards to it happening, but it was, everybody knew it was happening. You feel me? So I don't know what I don't really know what George Kambozo is talking about, man. Talking about, oh, he's a rat and this, that, and the other. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about, bro? That knowledge was out there. That thing was public knowledge that this dude was going through the motions. Everybody knew that, right? And so he goes on this rant about, hey, he's a rat, Teofimo's looking for him and all this other kind of stuff. And the thing is this: if Teofimo was looking for him, why didn't he fight him? When the opportunity was available to fight him. Because here's the thing about Teofimo, and this is why, there's no sympathy to be had for him, is, he was, he was talking fly about the sparring stories about, his dad especially was hyping up the sparring stories. And everybody knows that Teofimo, when you look at him spar and stuff like that, that dude gets worked. I mean, now granted, sparring it is for working on things, but these sparring stories that he tells, we already know they don't add up. We already know it's just honestly for clout. We know this already, and so with that being said, Devin Haney just pretty much said, man, let me check this dude real quick, right? And so this is why This is why it's like he decided he's not going to take anything at face value, right? And then on top of that, the whole situation was just like even trying to get him in the ring. You feel me? Like just trying to do that was that was in itself like a almost like Mission Impossible. You feel me? So with that being said, it's like I don't know why I don't know why he was talking about Teofimo so much, and it's like, yo, why don't you talk about the fight you have in front of you instead? Not about Teofimo, you know? Now another thing that stood out to me is that, you know, I guess there's a cultural barrier or something like that, but yeah, the way this dude talks, it's like, yo, like, do you know about like street culture? Like as Devin Haney said, do you know what like a snitch is? Do you know what a rat is? Like, do you know these things? And since you do not, I mean, it's recommended that you should like not talk about something that you don't know about. You feel me? So yeah, I was like, yo, this guy needs to just be quiet. And the thing is about the belt, unfortunately, he bought the sauce. Okay, he bought the sauce. He bought the sauce, and he thinks that, like, you know, he basically called Devin Haney's belt like fool's gold in word of words. He called it fool's gold. But we all know the story about franchise. We know that story already, and we know the story about Lomachenko wanting to be franchised. Okay. So with that being said, right? You know, Kambozos's words are like, it's just like empty weight, bro. Like, I mean, you really don't have anything to go off of, bro. Like when you talk about those things. So, you know, he kept on mentioning franchise this, franchise that. And he's not talking about the fact that Lomachenko did not want to fight Haney, and Haney wanted to fight Lomachenko. Okay? There was no ducking on Haney's side. So, of course, he's going to be given a belt if Mr. Mauricio Suleiman is going to be making new rules for that. You know, and that's largely courtesy of Canelo. Okay? He's the founder of franchise. So please give me a break. Now another thing too that needs to be said that was that I found interesting about Kambozo's delusions is that he basically mentioned how Devin Haney he basically mentioned about how Devin Haney had no choice but to take the fight, you know. And my thing is this is my thing about the whole situation is that you guys backed him into a corner so things can be done on your terms. He took your terms because he knows that he's gonna whoop your ass. So he figures, okay, well, once I beat this guy's ass, the things are gonna be in my court. You know what I mean? Like I'll be able to like I'm fighting for the bigger picture down the line. That's basically what he's doing. You know what I mean? So it wasn't that he was forced to take the fight. It was just that he took the fight because he knows that you're a fool. That's why he took the fight. And so when he says all these like goofy things, I'm like, bro, just please be quiet. You know, like you're making yourself look bad when you talk like this, man. So that's another thing that I have to say about the whole about the Kambozo thing, man. Is that this dude acts as if um, Haney wasn't trying to fight him after the JoJo Diaz fight. You know what I mean? He acts as if they weren't even trying to negotiate after that fight. And it's like, bro, you really need to get real with yourself. Like, you really need to be real with yourself, because at this present time, you are not being real with yourself. You know, you did everything in your power to try to fight Lomachenko, but because of his entanglements in Ukraine, that fight couldn't happen. You know what I mean? And so that was the first fight you wanted. So you can't even say that you can't even say that basically Devin Haney had no choice but to take the fight or something like that. It's as if you are insinuating that he was ducking you or something like that. You know? And then if I recall, when they said the fight's being finalized, I have to make sure George Kambozo even said the fight's been finalized. I have to make sure that there's no fake signatures. Like, what the hell? Like, are you serious, bro? Like, do you know how dumb that sounds? You saying something like that? Saying that I have to make sure there ain't no fake signatures. It's like, get the hell out of here, bro. Like, you are so delusional. Like, seriously, like, that guy is delusional, bro. And another thing too that I noticed about it is that you know, we know that Devin Haney's father is not going to be at the fight due to the fact that they're prohibiting him from being in the country, you know. But I don't think that's going to really be a factor that much. I don't think that's going to really do anything, for the simple fact that I mean, Devin Haney's been doing it for so long, bro. I think everything's gonna like click into place, you know? He knows what's at stake, he knows what he needs to do. I think he's gonna do it, man. Real talk. I really think he's gonna do it, and I think that maybe, you know, he's gonna do it in dominating fashion, man. For real. But yeah, you know, George Kambozo is crazy, bro. Like, I look at this and I'm like, yo, like, this guy right here, man, he is really, ever since he got them belts, he was just like absolutely feeling himself. And it's like, yo, like, you got them. I'm not taking anything away from the Teofimo Lopez win. I'm not taking anything away, but yo, like, at that point, Teofimo was like ripe for the picking. You know, like he was ripe for the picking of you know, Kambozo's. For the simple fact that, you know, that dude didn't take that fight serious. You can tell he didn't take the fight serious. He was just trying to knock Green's block off. You know, like, that's literally what his game plan was trying to knock Kambozo's block off. So, you know, like, George Kambozo needs to like reevaluate, you know, his skills in terms of hyping up the fight. You know. And also he said something which was pretty dumb to me. He said that Devin Haney wasn't his mandatory. Okay, well, I mean, at the end of the day, like, don't unifications trump mandatories? And also, I mean, aren't these belts being consolidated? Isn't that the important thing at this point? Is to consolidate the belts so there won't be any. That's why they call it undisputed. So there won't be no disputes about who holds all the who holds all the Infinity Stones. That's why they call it undisputed. Okay, obviously, you don't hold all the Mr. Kambozo's. You don't hold all the Infinity Stones. You know what I mean? So if you don't hold all the Infinity Stones, you have to fight in order to get those. And Devin Haney has the last Infinity Stone. Therefore, please wake up and stop it. Please stop it, bro. That's all I gotta say about that. And in terms of Devin Haney, there was a question that he asked Kambozo about it, about this whole situation. And you know, when the question was asked, you know, there were crickets. You heard nothing whatsoever. So at the end of the day, bro, you know, Devin Haney, I expect him to go into that fight, do his thing, do what Jojo Diaz actually said, and that's walk through Kambozo's. And also another thing, I'm gonna end on this note. Kambozo said something about Kambozo said something about Devin Haney being hurt versus Linares, and also being hurt versus Jojo Diaz. But I have a question for Mr. Kambozo. Wasn't he hurt versus Teofimo? Wasn't he dropped versus Teofimo? Like, so if you're gonna talk about someone being hurt, someone being dropped, buddy, you gotta look at yourself. The fact that you were dropped, you know. So you can cut it out now, Mr. Kambozo. You know, but I'm looking forward to this fight. You know, I'm not gonna give no fight predictions, but at this point, you know, when I'm gonna be looking at I don't know if Devin Haney, and I'm gonna end on this. I don't know if Devin Haney was wearing the black Air Force Ones, but if he has on the black Air Force Ones, then that means you can expect the ass whooping to be given to George Kambozo, because that's like, usually when someone wears the black Air Force Ones and stuff like that, that person you have to kind of look up, you have to kind of be on guard about, because that's usually what those shoes mean. Those shoes, like a fresh pair of white Air Forces, means you're like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna pull up, I'm gonna go to the club, this, that, and the other. But if you wear black Air Forces, it means like, man, I'm gonna either A, like ambush someone, or B, I'm prepared to I'm gonna stay on deck in case I get ambushed. That's what black Air Force Ones mean. And so, you know, I fully expect Devin Haney to walk through Kambozo's. You know, I expect what Jojo Diaz said to be the case in that fight. You know? But anyhow, leave your thoughts, leave your comments. Let me know what y'all thought about the presser, and let me know what y'all thought about both fighters' energies in the presser. But anyhow, Fool is signing out. That's all I got for now. Njara.